Hello everyone, I'm Vaishnavi from class 7th and today we are going to do the Chauhans from New Kings and Kingdoms which we have already started. So without wasting time, let me share the screen for you all so that you can refer to the PPT. Here is my screen share and here we can see the big idea of today. The big idea of today is Chauhans. And why it is Chauhans? It is Chauhans because we have discussed the three kingdoms above, which were the Gurjara Pratiharas, Palas, and the Rashtrakutas. So let us go to the screen of Chauhans. So when you discuss about Chauhans, what is the first name that comes to your mind? Yes, it might be Prithviraj Chauhan, who has defeated a lot of powerful rulers. And so, he is also known as the very famous Chauhan ruler. But we say it as a Chauhan ruler. So, obviously, it comes from the Chauhan dynasty. Now, let's see the characteristics of Chauhan dynasty. The Chauhan dynasty was of Ajmer, and Ajmer was established, or this dynasty was established in Ajmer in 11th century. Now this date is very like particular for we for all of us. So before establishing their dynasty, the Chauhans were. Now I'm going to give you a very important word, which is vassal. Now, this word vassals actually means very much. Vassals over here actually means a person under protection of a ruler to whom he owns tribute and military help. If I explain this in Hindi, it means that कोई आदमी कोई पर्सन जो है वो एक प्रोटेक्शन के अंदर है। एक प्रोटेक्शन मतलब उस रूलर की बहुत ज्यादा प्रोटेक्शन की जाएगी बाय डिफरेंट टाइप्स ऑफ टेरिटरीज और मिलिट्री हेल्प ऑफ डिफरेंट किंगडम। सो हमें इस लाइन से ये समझ आते हैं दैट व्हाट इज वसाल्स। सो वसाल्स का मतलब हमें पता लग गया है। तो चौहान्स वसाल्स थे, मगर जो किंगडम उनका वसाल कर रहा था वो था गुर्जरा प्रतिहाराज। सो वसाल्स of Chauhans were Gurjara Pratiharas. Okay, the next thing that we have to discuss over here is, let me take another color. One of the greatest ruler. We are talking about the greatest ruler, not the popular, not the least. We are talking about the greatest ruler. So the greatest ruler of this dynasty was Vigraharaj. So Vigraharaj was the greatest ruler of this dynasty. And also, this is the one ruler who captured Chittor. Chittor is a very famous place. So, he, Vijraharaj, has captured Chittor. Now, if we discuss about Prithviraj Chauhan, like over here we can see Prithviraj Chauhan, Raja Prithviraj Chauhan, he's Raja Prithviraj Chauhan 3. So, over here we can see that he was the most famous Chauhan ruler. Most famous Chauhan ruler, it means he has the throne of Ajmer at some point of time. For example, I draw a timeline of rulers of Chauhan. Let me write say over here, it's Chauhans. Okay, so over here we can see the timeline of Chauhan. So this would be timeline. So like this over here, the third we can say like this. Third Prithviraj Chauhan has came. We read it as Prithviraj 3. Okay, the next thing that we discussed is that when he ascended his throne in Ajmer, the cap, or we can say the first place that was followed in the 11th century. So the 11th century time was at 1177 CE. Okay, and then we read about that he followed vigorously policy of expansion, wherein his most famous expedition was against the Chandelas of Bundelkhand. So, Bundelkhand is a name of a place. For example, let's take it a place. It's not Bundelkhand right now. We can see an example of place. Just a second. So, over here, some trees are being stored. Let me draw some fake trees. So over here, some trees are being stood, and over here, the area of a ruler is there. Like this is the mortal garden, or we can say artificial garden. And over here, there's a like kingdom, we can say like this. And then we have the main door. We have arcs also over here. So this type of kingdom means Prithviraj Chauhan was actually very vigorously policy of expansion, means he wanted to expand his empire over a particular place. If I show you it on a blackboard, let me show you on blackboard or whiteboard, we can say like that also. So if you have a place something like this, and your kingdom is just over here, so like I'm making a flag right now. Oh, your kingdom is just over here, so what you will do, you will expand your empire over and over regions. Some regions would be big, like for example this much would be here, but over here this is only this much. That's why you will expand your empire if you are not able to see it clearly. Like for example, this would be there, then you'll expand this much. If this area is very small to you, then you'll make a garden over here also. Also you'll have a small garden in this place. So what you are doing over here, you are actually expanding your empire in different areas like this. So the thing that you are doing over here is to expand your empire, and in expanding of empire, what you are doing is to expand your empire at a particular time where the kingdom is very powerful, and also you expand it at the point of time when other kingdom where you want to rule, that kingdom is very low, at its low speed, means it's very not strong, we can say it is not wealthy. So when it would be not wealthy, so obviously the other kingdoms would capture that area. So that's why he was following the policy of expansion in Chandelas of Bundelkhand. The next thing we discuss about Prithviraj Chauhan is that the ring of his was actually described in Prithviraj Raso, which was written by Chandra Bardai. So Prithviraj Raso, if this question did be asked, because we discussed it in when, where, and how chapter, it was written by. Let me write the name over here. Chandra Bardai. Yes, Chandabardai was actually, this is the name. Prithviraj Raso was written by Chandabardai. And so, if we discuss about this thing, let me just erase this line that I would be able to explain you clearly. Right? So, over here I have the drop. Yeah. Prithviraj Chauhan was engaged in the first and second battles of Tarim. We'll discuss it about later, and with whom he had was Muhammad Ghori in 1191. Let me write over here 1191, and the second battle was in 1192. So, this you have to remember for this particular time, or we can say when Prithviraj Raso was engaged in two battles. Write the timeline of those battles. So this was the timeline you can see over here. The next thing is that what do he do in those battles? So those battles were very harmful to Prithviraj Raso in the first battle. I'm talking about the first battle. It was harmful because he was defeated by Muhammad Ghori. But the second round, we can say the second battle of Tarain was won by Prithviraj Raso. Sorry, not Prithviraj Raso, Prithviraj Chauhan. So over here we see this much only in Chauhans, and you can see the coins also that was actually located, or we can say administered by Chauhan's ruler. So we can see these two things like Prithviraj Chauhan, it is the famous. Prithviraj 3 is also the same over here. And also we see that Prithviraj Rasa was written by Chandra Bardai. And the next thing we see was the great ruler which was known as Vigra Haraj. So for today we have dismissed session itself, and as I have told you the recap over here only, so no worries to write now. So thank you everyone, and bye bye for today. See you in the next session. Till then, stay home, stay safe.